Coming up on Look Today, well, a highly anticipated sculpture depicting Native Americans and frontiersmen in a canoe was unveiled today in Lake George, and we were there. Plus, we've got continuing coverage of Restaurant Week in Lake George. More on that coming up. And Grant's Cottage Historic Site in Wilton is named a New York State Literary Landmark. Wow, I've got those details. All ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson, this is Look Today. On tonight's program, I sit down with Larry Sharpe. Now he's running for New York State Governor in 2018. He's running on the Libertarian ticket, and he's here to talk about his background, philosophy, and mission. This is part 2 of my interview with him. Plus, I also sit down with Lisa Dedman. Now she's got the title, Chief of Interpretation for Saratoga National Historical Park. And she's here to talk about the Battle of Saratoga and an event happening at the park this coming weekend. You really want to hear about this. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, a life-size sculpture depicting Native Americans and frontiersmen in a canoe was unveiled today in Lake George. Sculptor Paul Stark was commissioned to carve the piece from a giant white pine log. Now, the sculpture represents the history of our region, and it's located, by the way, right downtown between the Steamboat Company and the Visitor Center, right on the lakefront in the village of Lake George. Well, we were at the grand unveiling, and guess what? We spoke to the artist, Paul Stark.
Well, it means everything to me to have it put in this prominent spot, and that they honored me with a chance to do it. Yeah, it means everything.
Now, we also spoke to Gina Mitzner. Now, this is a name you're going to get to hear a lot from because she's the new executive director of the Lake George Regional Chamber of Commerce.
So this is another treasure to tell that history, and it brings it to life. I mean, this is so much better than just trying to read a book. It actually puts people into the picture of history and then how it's relevant to each and every one of us.
You know, the sculpture is amazing. You've got to get up there. And by the way, this is a great week to get up there because it's Restaurant Week and it's in full swing. Now, every year, Lake George Regional Chamber of Commerce and the CVB partner local restaurants to sample the region's finest dishes. Now, this marks the 11th anniversary of showcasing local culinary talent. Now, the event runs until September 16. We spoke to Amanda Metzger. She's marketing director, Lake George Regional Chamber of Commerce.
We're really happy with the turnout, the enthusiasm, but part of it too is the restaurants have some amazing culinary talent. They've got great service, and they put together fabulous menus with a range of choices. So there's a dozen restaurants, so you know it's hard to pick which one you want. So I would say go check it out right away.
Yay. Switching from news to weather. Well, today saw overcast skies and all of a sudden the sun came out, but it looks like we're going to get more rain. So let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. Take a look at the weekend. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thanks, Jesse. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponser with your first look weather update. As you look at the national map, we have high pressure control for much of the Midwest, the Southeast, although what's left of Irma is making its way to New England at this time. Also a stationary front boundary and a warm front boundary well off towards the northwest. We'll see temperatures across the region in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Closer view towards the Capital District. Saratoga Springs about 64, Fort Edward 62, and 61 in Whitehall. We'll be in the lower 60s towards Glens Falls, and up in elevation near Pottsburg and Johnsburg, lower 60s, maybe some isolated spots, upper 50s. We could see a few showers, but that could happen very early and very isolated, mostly cloudy for the most part. For our Friday, we'll see a few storms, otherwise mostly cloudy, 80 the afternoon highs. You walk out the door, a mild start, especially for mid-September. A few showers are possible, lower to mid-60s. And the extended forecast, we'll see temperatures gradually rising up back to the lower 80s through Monday, upper 70s for highs on Tuesday with lows about upper 50s to lower 60s. Rain chances about 20 to 30% through Saturday. I would not cancel any of your outdoor plans. Great day to do is on Sunday with mostly sunny skies and no threat of any wet weather. Rain chances return for Monday and Tuesday with a south breeze pretty much every day. That's a look at the first look weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponser. Now I send it back to you, Jesse.
Thanks, Clarence. And look at that temperature for Sunday. 83 degrees? I'll take it. All right, back to the news. Well, Grant's Cottage State Historic Site in Wilton has been named the 24th New York State Literary Landmark. Big deal. It was named by United for Libraries and the Empire State Center for the Book. Well, President Ulysses S. Grant lived out the last few years of his life at the cottage and completed the second volume of memoirs. A lot of his personal possessions, by the way, can still be found at the site. Well, we were there today and we spoke to Melissa Swanson. She's Executive Director, Grant's Cottage.
This will put us on the map not only as a historical site, but as somewhere where something wonderful literary happened. So we go on the map with places that have literary landmarks for Mark Twain and Tennessee Williams. So it's great for Grant Cottage to get recognized for the literary event that happened here.
Boy, if you want to step back in time, get a little sense of history, you've got to visit this cottage. It's really something. Up next, I sit down with Larry Sharpe. Now, he's running for New York State Governor 2018. He's running on the Libertarian ticket. And he's here to talk about his background, his philosophy, his mission. This is part 2 of my interview with him. Plus, I also sit down with Lisa Dittman. Now, she's Chief of Interpretation for Saratoga National Historical Park. And she's here to talk about the Battle of Saratoga and an event happening at the park this coming weekend to commemorate that. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Then give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Now it's time for your look. This is a feature that we increasingly love to have here on Look Today. Got some nice comments about the Adirondack experience up in Blue Mountain Lake. Place looks awesome. My kids and I have been to a lot of museums, near and far, and this is the one that we have to add to the list. Well, that comes from viewer Julie Barnes-Simic. So Julie, you win 2 tickets to passes for the Adirondack Experience, formerly the Adirondack Museum up in Blue Mountain Lake. You can pick these tickets up right here at our Saratoga downtown studio any weekday from 10 to 3 p.m. Now, based on the response we're getting, we asked the Adirondack Experience to give us more passes than they have. So we'd like you to join in. All you have to do is go to Facebook, like and share our post, and we'll capture your name and randomly select someone to win 2 passes to the Adirondack Experience up in Blue Mountain Lake. I have a question for you. When we were up at Grant's Cottage today, I was reminded of just how amazing this historical site is. So I'd like to know if you've been there. And if you have been there, what'd you think of it? Go to Facebook and let us know. And we'll see you next time on Your Look. That's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. Quick look out goes to Paul Stark. He's the artist, the sculptor, who designed and made that sculpture in Lake Georgia we were telling you about earlier in the program. Wait till you see this thing. If you get up close to it, the workmanship is phenomenal. And hopefully it'll last for generations and generations. Also, look out goes to Gina Mincer. She's the new executive director, Lake George Regional Chamber of Commerce. She's taken over from Mike Consulo. Those are big shoes to fill, Gina, but according to Mike and according to a lot of people, you are definitely suited for the task. Now, we'll have an interview with Gina tomorrow more about her coming on board to run this organization. And one last reminder, tonight is Sold. That's our call-in auction program. Great estate jewelry and coins. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.